experiment. We have COLab Jeff, COLab Matt, and our new star, the Silver Fox.
Hey, that's a good name.
You realize that's what they call old, like,
Shit.
white dudes that, like, start letting their hair go gray, but it, like, somewhat fits them.
She apparently loves the Silver Fox.
Okay, first of all, I'm older than that, so clearly I don't like the silver foxes.
For real? She's the first one that's gonna get that AARP fucking
You're an
shit in the
asshole.
mail.
COLab Cole, moving on. Anyways, what are we talking today about? Today?
Talking about UFC 261 that went down last night, 3
The
title
Tyson.
fights. First sporting event, I guess, that was indoors that had a full capacity crowd.
Full send.
The crowd was
Well,
intense and lots
yeah.
of fun.
They were
Talk
intense?
They were.
Like outside?
Not an actual tense camping,
Oh.
they were an intense emotion. Hearing them, you fucking dick.
We'll also dip into the NFL draft a little bit, and then just a couple other things that we'll start off with here, as the Colorado Avalanche in the NHL are the first team to clinch a playoff spot.
Full send.
So
Keep our fingers crossed that they don't fuck it up with COVID. And they
they
stay.
already kind of have, but they're fighting through it. So
Don't be a dick.
the goalie has
It's bad
COVID.
juju on
It's not bad juju, I'm just saying.
The goalie has COVID as we speak, but during the trade deadline, they signed a veteran backup goalie who has stepped in and filled in nicely.
When do the playoffs for NHL start?
I think they only have, I'd say,
Usually they start when the playoffs start.
I'd say 2-3 weeks left of the regular season.
You're stupid.
Maybe a
Asking
month.
for like an actual date.
It's probably about a month and a
Actual
half.
day, it's
Yeah.
probably somewhere around a month.
What about Utah Jazz too?
Yeah.
Dates?
In the NBA, the Utah
Don't give a
Jazz
fuck
were the
about the
first
Utah
team
Jazz.
to clinch a playoff berth in the
I
NBA.
got pulled over in Utah. Fuck Utah.
Oh yeah, we'll talk
Jeffrey,
about that.
Jeffrey went to Vegas to play in a football tourney. How'd you do?
Which is why we didn't have our
Yes.
podcast last week.
Oh, my headphones died again.
Uh-oh.
They just killed.
Fuck Utah.
We're back.
So Jeffrey had a flag football tournament in Las Vegas, national tournament, which is why the podcast was delayed last week. He was out there for 3 days, 4? Basically 3, huh?
Yeah.
Team No Sleep for Jeff.
I went Friday and got back Monday.
Got to
How was it, dude?
Yeah.
It was fantastic. We took second place in 3 different divisions, and then we took third in the other one. So it was dope.
Was it nice and warm or was it cool?
Yeah, it was like it is today.
Oh,
All
perfect
weekend.
weather. Perfect weather.
It was a little windy, but it's better than what you guys were dealing with here.
Facts.
It was cool.
It was a good time driving over that shit though. Utah was nasty, bro. Like I got through
I
there.
doubt it.
It was disgusting.
I mean, I
You're
still
so
don't know why
dramatic.
you
It was
did
disgusting.
I really still don't know why you did it.
What,
I would
drove?
never drive that far.
I really didn't want to,
And I drive for a living.
but you
and
know,
I wouldn't drive
but you
that
know
far.
when the flights are like $400, it's not a send.
Anyways, moving on to UFC. Let's talk about the fights really quick.
Fuck me,
Anybody
right.
want to recap the Hall and Smith fight because those were a little funky?
Yeah, so
Were they funky?
the first two fights on the main card last night on UFC 261. The first one was Anthony Smith versus Jimmy Crute in a light heavyweight fight.
Anthony
And
Smith
pretty
won.
early in the first round, Anthony Smith landed
Nice
it
little
was a leg kick, but it hits like right behind the knee. I've only seen it a couple times happen, but there's like a nerve.
This man went whole
And
club
the guy
full of
was
bullshit.
wobbly.
There's a nerve behind the knee, and if you hit it just right, it just happened to Sean O'Malley against Cheeto Vera a few months ago. You hit that nerve, and you just lose all feeling, basically in that whole
It's like
leg.
the funny bone for you.
And the
Fuck
guy
it.
was
Yeah.
still trying to fight afterwards, like trying to tell the judge, like, or like the whoever, that he was fine. Like, and he kept stepping on it like a freaking crazy person.
Yeah,
It was all
so
fucking wonky.
his ankle just kept rolling. His toes were like basically like curled up,
That's
and his foot just kept rolling. Like he had no feeling in his leg. You could even tell because he went for a takedown and he like had to just hold him down because he had no power in his leg to even stand up with him. So Anthony Smith got the win when the doctor came in. He asked Jimmy Crute to walk to him. He took 2 steps. His ankle rolled again, and the doctor basically
Sorry
stopped
for laughing because that sucks, but that
Doctor
shit was
stopped
crazy.
it and told him he could not continue. So Anthony Smith gets a win there.
Then the other one where the whole ankle snapped around the other leg. That
literally.
shit was
This
crazy.
man went from raw pasta to fucking boiled pasta real quick, bro.
And then stepped right on the broken ankle.
Yeah, 17 seconds into the
I mean, I don't think it was his ankle. It was like right here.
Well, whatever was in this
I'm
vicinity.
gonna I'm not no
He was a
doctor or
whole
anatomy expert.
I'm pretty
like
sure.
tibia.
I told my cousin last night. We were watching it. It's the same injury that happened to my little brother in high school, his
Yeah.
senior year. Basically, what's gonna happen is it's a full dislocation of the ankle and a fractured tibia.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it's gonna be deemed.
Tibia.
He had, was it tibia?
Yeah,
Tibia?
it's what it's
One of the two. But anyways, it was 17 seconds in the fight. He threw a leg kick, and dude kind of turned his leg, and that's how you check it. But it like caught right below the knee on the hard part right there, and his ankle just folded right around it. Whips his leg back, steps on it, it folds the other way, and then he just falls, and the fight's over. Obviously, they bring the medical team in, compression sleeve.
And it was too swollen to operate on that night too, right? They had to wait a day.
Yeah, so his wife posted on Instagram today a picture of him, said his surgery went well. Thanks for all the undying support and well wishes, and we also wish a full speedy recovery
Oh,
to
yeah.
That shit sucks.
Chris Weidman, because you don't ever want to see that happen to anybody, any sport.
So the girls,
no matter what.
the girls were brutal fights. I mean, they were all really good fights. I gotta be honest with you, but
That was a really good night of fights.
It was.
The first one was the first title fight was Valentina Shevchenko
bad bitch is what she is.
versus Jessica Andrade.
Is she?
Yeah, I mean Valentina's just dominant in that whole division. Nobody's ever even really touched her. Nobody's ever even really came close, and she just overpowered and dominated Andrade. She wrestled her,
Did all
which
of it,
is what everybody thought Andrade was gonna have to do to beat her,
and she
and she
came out
flipped it and did it. Basically got her in a crucifix in like round 2. Just started pounding on her, and they called it.
It was nuts.
Dominant victory, no question. She's the GOAT at that weight. We'll see if they set up
Nunes.
yeah. I mean, she's already fought her twice.
It needs to happen.
Yeah, she's already fought her twice.
It's the
Let's
only
see,
fight that makes
Yeah.
sense for either of them.
pretty much, because they both wiped out their division. So we'll see what happens there. The next title fight was Zhang Weili
Who won
versus
fight of the year last year
versus
with
Rose
Megamind shit.
versus Rose Namajunas, Thug Rose.
Rose killed
straight out of Westminster, Colorado, and everybody thought that could be a fight of the year candidate, and Rose ended it quickly with a
She was
sneaky.
so composed throughout this whole like fight camp too, with all her interviews. Anytime she was like talking about it, she was like very straight faced, like even in all of her photos and stuff. So it was like really intense
She's
to watch
stoic.
her explode like that. Yeah, she is.
She's super
And she just
stoic.
exploded.
She is, bro.
You would know, right, Matt?
She's stoic.
Just kidding. But
But
yeah, she exploded on that girl.
yeah,
Exploded? I
Yeah.
wouldn't think. I don't.
throws a sneaky head kick, catches her.
Exploded?
And she didn't even, the girl that she like knocked out, she didn't even think she was knocked out. She was like arguing with the referees.
She hit her with a couple.
Stumbling.
Hit her with a couple more shots, and if Weili would have put her hands up over her head,
Mhm.
I could see your excuse there. Her hands were literally at her side. Rose hit like 3-4 unanswered shots.
And then
Refs
she
got
up
to call it at
stumbling.
that point. Yeah, she got up and was trying to argue the call, but I mean, from watching it here, I thought it was the absolute right call.
Yep.
Like Jeff said, she got up and was still stumbling.
Yep.
While arguing. She almost stumbled into the cage. Like, I mean, I get it. You're the champ. You want to, but you were completely out. And the thing that I loved about that was Rose's confidence. At the beginning, when they were just announcing her, she was literally sitting there saying, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best. She was just giving herself that self-confidence. And she went in there and did it.
She showed you.
She knew that she could. She knew her talents could get her there, and she just showed it.
Then the most depressing fight of the night for all of us.
Yeah, and then unfortunately,
Usman won.
Kamaru Usman retains his welterweight title by knocking out Jorge Masvidal. First ever time he has been knocked out in a fight.
And they showed that shit in slow-mo, and it was like sweat, all the shit.
Oh, it was a perfect punch. Absolute perfect punch. And that's how, whether you think you have a chin or not, if you get hit with that perfect shot, I mean, it's all over. And I mean, Masvidal even said in his post-fight interview, he might have got a little overconfident, saying that Usman had no power. And he showed that he had the power, so.
And then McGregor was on Instagram talking shit to Usman, saying, you take all my fucking words of talking shit, and you take my moves of knocking everybody out, talking about who is he hitting? What's that guy saying?
Poirier?
Yep. And then we'll see how exciting that gets, because would you like to see that fight?
Not necessarily.
Do you think McGregor would even have a shot? Because he's on 170, sounds nice.
I mean, McGregor is not. You have to understand, Kamaru Usman probably cuts down from about 190, 200 pounds.
Yep.
Conor McGregor can't even put on a full to get to 170.
He's just a little guy.
When he fought Nate Diaz, he only weighed in at like 168 or something like that.
By a guy that much bigger than you.
Usman's just, I think it would just, ultimately, he would just be too strong. And it would be a wrestling. He would do exactly what Khabib did to him. Yeah. He's not going to, he wouldn't stand with him. But who knows, because I didn't think he'd stand with Masvidal either, and he did. So, congrats to him, even though I don't like him. Give my congratulations. Thank you for losing me $1,800. That was tight. Appreciate it.
Almost finally got a parlay and a good one.
Your boy should have just cashed out with his $398 and
for real
called it good. Yeah, I picked all 5 right. I picked all 4 right.
Except for
then I had Masvidal. I could have bet 25 to win 1,800, and I was like, "Fucking, I'm gonna just let it ride."
Okay, let's move on to
NFL draft coming up this week.
I have
starts
2
on
fun
Thursday.
facts.
2 fun facts
to kind of quiz you guys on, and then a couple of questions. Yes.
Okay.
The quizzes?
Well, I mean,
facts.
Well, I mean both.
Okay. What's your fun facts?
When was Tom Brady drafted?
Like what year or what round or?
What year and what round?
Well, he was the
last 6th round pick.
Yep.
I thought it was not 99. Was it 99?
What? Let's see.
I'm pretty sure it was 99. 98 or 99. Because he was the first quarterback to play in like 3 different decades or something like that.
Is that your final answer?
What is it?
Year 2000. To the Patriots.
No, I thought it was to the fucking Bills.
And then the whole point of the draft is to get the teams to the Super Bowl, right? Like to be the best team and to make your team great.
I mean, it's the draft. The whole point of the draft is to draft.
Okay, so a fun fact that I thought we should talk about is what 4 teams have never been to the Super Bowl.
What 4 teams have never been to the Super Bowl? I'd say the Lions are one.
Yeah, the Lions.
The Browns are the next.
Yep.
The Texans.
Yep.
The Jaguars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trash cans.
All trash cans. For sure.
And surprisingly, Jaguars have the #1 pick.
And they're going to take
so
Trevor Lawrence.
They've been terrible for quite some time now.
They do it a lot.
Yeah.
Those are all trash can teams. The Browns are on the come up, but...
Yeah.
Do you guys know what Mr. Irrelevance are?
Yes.
Mr. Irrelevance
is the very last pick.
So who are your top noteworthy talked about Mr. Irrelevance for you guys personally?
No idea.
No idea?
I don't watch the draft that long.
Yeah, that's kind of facts. No, I don't really.
He's
Mr. Irrelevant for a reason.
I stay somewhat invested through about round 4.
Because there's 6 rounds altogether, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Round 3.
This is boring after.
No, I get it, but I'm just asking, like.
Round 3, I'll watch, and then round 4, you just kind of check your phone and see who they're. You really don't even look at who every team is taking. You're just kind of looking at like certain players that maybe haven't got drafted yet, or what teams you follow, who they drafted.
So, how how do teams like move up in the draft? They have to like trade future drafts or like
Or players,
picks or
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, but
it depends.
it's just,
It really, you only see teams trade up if they really want somebody.
And they think that
They
player is
think
going to
that,
get
yeah.
picked by somebody else
Yeah.
before, so then they.
So it's like a
It
chess
was,
match.
yeah.
It's like a real chess match. Like,
So can a team like if they, let's say the Broncos went to another team and they're like, hey, we offer this to you, could they like counter them and say, okay, we'll take this if you add something else to it?
Oh, yeah, it's just
that's
They
how
do
they
stuff
always
like
do
that
that.
too?
That's what I
Oh,
said, they
okay.
play chess,
business,
yeah. They're just playing chess with each other. Like, the Broncos could be like, oh, we'll give you a, like if they say they want to move up to pick 4, which is what has been talked about
Mm-hmm.
this week, they'd be like, hey,
What?
we'll give you our 9th pick with Atlanta.
For what would they do that for?
That I'm just telling you, they're saying to get one of those, either Fields or Lance, whichever one's is ready or whichever one is still available. So they say they call Atlanta at 4, like, hey, we'll give you our 9th pick. So basically they're just swapping those picks, and then we'll give you a 3rd, and then they could just say that, and Atlanta will be like, okay, we'll throw in a 6 on top of that. Denver, if they want it, sure, take the 6, we don't care, have it.
So another random question is, how does a person like get elected to be a part of the draft? Do they like
What do you-
submit themselves into something, or do they have to like be personally
Are you
picked by
talking
the
about like
NFL?
the players
Like the
that
players,
go there?
yeah. So like, cause I see some people like go drop out of college and say, oh, I'm gonna just stop and go to the draft. Like,
Well,
do
everybody
people
can
ever
elect
come
to
to
be in the
them? Or?
draft.
Yeah.
But you gotta
can
know-
elect to be in
But they have agents already that will let them know, hey, I think you're going to go in this tier or this tier, or I
Yeah,
think
as
you
soon
might
as
be
they
drafted.
as
But
soon as they declare for the draft,
Yeah.
they basically their first step is signing an agent.
yeah,
They're
So
not worried
a
about
person
anything
has
else.
to declare themselves into the draft, not the NFL declaring them.
no.
Well, you have to play 2 years of college football
Okay.
Yeah.
to gain eligibility to
Yeah.
enter the draft. So you have to be going into your junior season, and then you can declare your eligibility for the draft, depending on how.
So you have to play 2 years of college ball no matter what to get
Yes.
into the NFL. You can't just like
No,
get
not
into the
football.
NFL.
No.
Okay.
not football.
I'm just curious. I've never.
And they do that for a maturity reason.
Yeah,
That's why they have that standard. set.
especially especially their bodies, most like, because they would get destroyed by NFL
If
players.
they
It's
were
not
a
like
high school
basketball.
kid.
Like,
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And then my like last question for you guys would be, what positions have the most depth or value within the NFL draft, in your opinion?
Usually it's, I mean, it's different every year, but most of the time you can usually, like, I would say like the lower rounds you'll find more like better players. It's usually at like receiver,
yeah, you
something
can find
like
a
that,
receiver, yeah.
a running back.
Yeah, it's always skill.
It's always skill positions, because speed and ability will always conquer, because it's so versatile. They could be on special teams, they could be in just certain packages on offense. Like, it's all lots of different
Yeah,
stuff.
like safeties, corners. It's
Yeah.
the skill positions like run deep all the time.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks, linemen, like there's a select few that you're gonna get
Okay, that actually wasn't my last question. I have one more last question. I forgot.
for real.
Have you guys looked at the top 10 NFL draft prospects for the quarterbacks? Do you
Not
agree
really.
or
I
disagree
only
with
pay
it?
attention to
So
about
like top
5.
five.
Okay, so let's talk top 5 then. Do you actually like agree with the top 5 that are out there? Do you know the top 5? Do you want me to
Trevor
talk
Lawrence.
about
Yes, I know the top 5.
Trevor
It's
Lawrence,
Trevor
Zach
Lawrence,
Wilson,
Justin Fields,
Justin
Zach
Fields.
Warren, or yeah,
Trey
Zach Wilson.
Lance and Mac Jones?
Yes.
Do you think that that's like in order? Would you disagree with that? If you had to pick one of these,
Trevor Lawrence.
I'm
is the
only
best.
taking 2
which would be
if I'm a GM, which would be Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields.
why?
That's what I'm doing. Because, for one, the competition that they played against in college, which doesn't always make a difference, but if you're playing against that tougher competition, it's going to prepare you for that next level, in my opinion. Nothing against those other guys. I mean, there's obviously been
They have talent.
guys from, they have talent, but there's been guys from like Trey Lance, for example, he's from North Dakota State, which is an FCS school. It's not a FBS school, which is a different kind of college football. They're playing against a lot weaker competition,
That's facts.
like a lot weaker. Like, it's almost like D2, compared to what like some of these guys are going through in D1. So he looks good, but that's exactly where Carson Wentz came from. Was that exact same school, and he had a good couple years, and then he totally fizzled out. So I don't know. If it's me, it's kind of like what we talked about in the NCAA tournament. Like you always bet on the chalk. Like that's kind of how I look at
I
your
learned that the
quarterbacks.
hard way.
That's kind of how I. That's
Look
kind
at the
of.
facts.
That's kind of how I look at quarterbacks. Like even though, and that's not always true either, because I don't necessarily believe in Mac Jones, and he played at the top school in college football.
National champion.
He's a national champion at Alabama. But the thing is, when I watch Alabama, there hasn't been one good quarterback to come out of Alabama since I've been watching football, literally. And Alabama's the best team every single year.
It's just a system. Some guys
it's a
fit in.
system.
Yeah,
Like
it's easy to fit into Nick Saban's system.
yeah, the system that they run over there, it's all set up by scheme. So their receivers that are running open and stuff like that, it's because of the scheme that they run with their patterns, which is totally different from what happens in the NFL. So to me, Mac Jones is going to be like a one read. If his one read isn't there, he's going to start freaking out. Yeah, he's going to start freaking
Because
out.
they're so used to the oiled machine and how it goes there.
Well, yeah.
That makes sense.
Alabama's always at the top, so they're always going to be better than
Oh yeah, they
most
always
people
have.
they play.
I mean, you look at the receivers that he's thrown to. I mean, it's all top pick guys.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody can, not anybody, but it's easy to look good when you're throwing to guys that are just faster, bigger, and stronger than everybody else on the field.
So moving on to the Broncos. What do you guys want to see? What do you hope we do? What do you think? Anything? Are we gonna do anything good? What pick are we?
9.
Oh God.
We need a linebacker probably, or a corner. Shore up the defense maybe.
So top 3. Let's just stick with top 3. If you were in charge of picking the people for us,
It's
who are
either
your top 3 people?
Justin Fields, Micah Parsons, Patrick Surtain.
What are their positions?
Quarterback.
Surtain's a corner, Parsons is a linebacker, Justin Fields is a quarterback.
So you're saying we need to get rid of our QB.
I can't stand Drew Lock. I've never liked Drew Lock ever since the draft.
What about you?
I mean, those are it all makes sense. I don't.
No,
I
I'm
don't
saying
know,
Drew
just-
Lock. I mean, I know about the players,
What?
but do you think that Drew Lock needs to go too?
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't have it.
It's a maturity thing with him.
Yeah.
I see he's like, I think I said this before, he's better skill wise than Paxton Lynch, but I feel like their maturity is on the same fucking level. Like it just irritates me. It really does. I don't need to see your fucking backpack shit when we're 3-9.
You don't want him to dance.
No, I don't want him to dance. When you have 3 wins in the season,
He was feeling good.
I don't need to see no dancing.
He's feeling good, bro.
I don't care.
What?
Win some football games and you can dance all over the field.
For real?
Don't care.
We're gonna at the Broncos and say, "Hey Broncos, listen to what these boys have to say, because we're tired of your shit."
I mean, that's kind of what everybody else is saying too, to be honest with you. Everybody on the
Everybody else is just
Denver
tired of John
radio.
Elway, to be honest.
Yeah.
100%. Sorry, I know my family's a huge John Elway fan, but
And there's some people that honestly they want to see. I mean, if they stick with Locke, then this is pretty much them saying, in my eyes, Vic Fangio, this is your last year, and Drew Lock, this is your last year. That's pretty much what they're doing. They're tied together. They're meshed as one. So if they end up having a bad year, they're either both gone or they're both staying if they have a good year. It's one or the other.
They should both leave.
I think so too. I'm not necessarily. I like Vic Fangio, but I just don't think he has like the. He's missing something.
He doesn't have any fire. I don't.
He's missing something to get these guys to go out there and play for him.
if you're gonna be in charge of a football team, y'all need to be passionate as a motherfucker because.
You'd be like Coach Taylor on Friday Night.
For real?
Yes!
No,
We
stop.
freaking binged that show and I cried. I cried in the last episode because I was invested. That man and that team. Good coach will change your life. Good
You want
person
that
to run the
Charmin
program.
shit.
You're stupid.
What the fuck?
Because I'm soft, if anybody else didn't get it like I didn't earlier. But anything else? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about for this week? Or is that it?
Let's see.
Fuck Utah.
I don't.
Matt Gold this week. How'd you do? And you golfed?
Yeah. Golfed yesterday, got out of Thorn Creek, that was good. Only got in 16 holes. It got dark. But...
What about you? Anything
What?
other than football?
I golfed.
I hit the gym.
And then in bowling, I think I rolled a 565.
For real?
Yeah.
It's good.
So it's almost a 190 average. It was a pretty good week. Nothing else.
Good.
I don't believe so.
So wrapping that up, we'll see you guys after the draft. Let's cross our fingers that we do some magic this year.
Some magic?
We create magic.
Magic.
We create some magic. We make good moves.
Hit us up on Instagram and let us know
what y'all think.
if you would like us to do like a draft follow along.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
If you would.
Ooh!
If we get enough feedback from it, we'll do it. If not, then we'll just recap it on Sunday. So
I think we should
let
totally
us
go
know.
live with you guys. Please let us know if you'd like to do that, because I would have fun with that. We could all make fun of Jeffrey.
probably be making fun of you because
That's
you'd
okay.
be like, "What's an OL?"
Offensive lineman?
Oh shit!
What's a DB? See, we've got some,
Here we go. Anyways, a
What's a
defensive
DB?
back.
Oh, I should have known that.
what's a CB?
Cornerback?
For real?
Is it a
It's
cornerback?
actually a cornerback.
It is?
It's a cornerback.
I said that.
No, you didn't.
I
You
said
said
cornerback.
quarter.
I said cornerback.
You said
No,
quarter.
You said corner.
I said corner.
That's why I said you said it wrong though. It's cornerback. Don't touch your
All right,
skin.
everybody.
I can touch
We'll
it.
see you.
That's it. Matt's tired apparently.
Matt's out.
Have a good Sunday.
We out,
Monday.
Chet.
Gang.
Let's push some buttons here.